And what's up, gamers? Today we got another quick guide for y'all. We're going to be looking at Bacchus, God of Wine. So, Bacchus is a support stop character. He can be also used as a solo laner and even as a jungle. Uh, he really can be played all around. Probably the only place I wouldn't put him as like a carry or a mid laner. But to each their own. If you want to play him there, who am I to say where to go? But let's hop to it. Let's talk about this guy for a second. So, little tidbit from the Smite devs is that he gets drunk and burps for his crowd control. He is a melee magical with hybrid scaling. You'll notice when we go through the abilities and his passive, he scales off protections and a little bit of intellect as well, or intelligence, should I say. So let's go over how he works. His passive is called Drunkometer. As you become more drunk, gain strength and intelligence and protections. You become tipsy at 30% drunk. You become smashed at 60%, doubling the buffs. Buffs over there obviously ranges from 0 to 100% drunk, smashed buff, plus 8 strength, 10 intelligence, and 10% on both physical and magical protection. Tipsy is 3 strength, 5 intelligence, 5% on physical, and 5% on magical. Has no effect under 30, and tipsy between 30 to 59, smashed over 60%. Drunkenness depletes over time at a rate of 2% per second. So if you get those cooldowns nice and low as well, you can be smashed for a very long time. Check out his first ability, which is Chug. You take a drink, healing, and become more drunk. You also gain increased strength and intelligence. Your next basic attack deals an additional magic damage. So you can see here he does 0 damage until his ability is unlocked, but once you get unlocked, it's 10, 30, 50, 70, 90, 20 damage scaling with a 30% scaling on your physical and magical prots. You also get heals attached to that as well, and the drunkenness 70%. So pretty good way to get your passive going. His second ability is called Belly Flop. He'll leap forward to slam into the ground belly first, knocking up enemies. This is a good way to CC out and set up your team if you need to do an offensive push so you can get the enemy knocked up. It's probably good once a Wheelix is back in the game for a combo off of her or for any other god that would like a nice big crowd control to hit many people at once. So this combos really well with Barons too. So use it wisely. You can also use it as a way to peel out for your teammates. If they're running away and getting chased, belly flop's a good way to slow down the enemy pursuit. Deals magic damage, and if you're tipsy, enemies are also slowed. So you want to use this obviously with that tipsy passive up. Try to get drunk as possible as Bacchus. I mean, this is the only god where being drunk is actually a good thing. Third ability is Belch of the Gods. Channel a big old burp to deal magical damage repeatedly to enemies in front of you. If you are tipsy, the final hit will stun, reduces enemy healing. You are displacement immune while channeling. So this is a really good way to keep your team in fights. It's another way to peel for your team if they need to get away. Uh, Again, you want to be tipsy to get the max effect out of this, where that final hit does stun. So staying drunk is the way to go to use Bacchus. You also get that healing reduction, so pairing this up with probably Pharaoh's Curse as a way of an active heal if this is down, or getting, healing reduction from any of your other teammates. But either way, this is a good tool to sustain your team in the fight because you know that their enemy team sustain won't be as strong. You want to get that last hit for the stun, and as you increase in level, it also increases the stun duration. Now, Spells of the Gods damage scaling increases with intelligence, so it might be worth getting a couple intelligence items for Bacchus. Probably build them more like in a bruiser role, but going full tank is also viable. Final ability is called Intoxicate. Smash your jugger wide, dealing magic damage, intoxicating enemies around you. If you are smashed, gain strength and intelligence and anger over your lost wine. And also for this one, it does have some damage to it, so it's a pretty strong ultimate. It also scales with intelligence, so you want to be able to buff that up as well. As you can see, this prots with intelligence. Prots do not scale for this, so a hybrid build, in my opinion, is something more bruiser where you get damage and defense built in. Probably works well for Bacchus. The intoxicate duration is 4 seconds. If you've ever been on the receiving side of this, it's quite gnarly to aim. So if you can avoid this at all costs, you can beads out of it, obviously, but If you're getting hit by this, you hopefully have Talisman of Purification from your support to get everybody out. Otherwise, being intoxicated is a very, very big team CC that could lead to a lost fight. Alright, so that was an overview of his abilities. Let's check him out in the jungle practice. Alright, so we have him here in jungle practice. As you can see, we can look at the builds here. You have full tank, hybrid tank, active support, and bruiser. So as I was talking about earlier, I think the best way to play Bacchus is you get a little bit of, offense and defense. You can go that front line for your team where you're just a full tank, not really worrying about intelligence scaling and getting the most out of your first two abilities, where you scale with your prots. I think for this case, just for this demo, I'm going to show the bruiser build, just because that's what I'm comfortable with, but there's also other builds you can go. There's the active support where you do get the Talisman of Purification in here, and Amanita Charm to heal your team. But let's just take a look at bruiser for now. Alright, so let's go over his abilities. So let's get up to level 20 really quick, just to get all this nice and leveled. And let's settle Ymir to level 20 as well. Let's give him inventory. Alright, good. So, drunkometer. As you become more drunk, gain strength, intelligence, and prots, you become tipsy at 30%, and smash at 60%, doubling the buffs. As you know, when we use our chug, we're going to get 70% drunk, so let's drink that away. Nice, which means we get the benefits of all of our abilities when you are tipsy. So we get the first one at 30%. We also get the stun from Belch of the Gods. So since we're above that 30%, we're still going to get that benefit. Let's just go all the way up to 100. Let's now do this little belly flop. This will hit in an AoE. As you can see, with that bruiser build, you're going to do quite a chunk out of even a tank Ymir, so that's 368 damage. So let's get that belch on, and let's see how this stuns the enemy. As you can see, we are displacement immune, but not CC immune. So that's a big note there. You are displacement, but not CC. So you can be knocked out by a hard stun, or a hard CC like a stun, and doesn't protect you from that. But in terms of knockups or fears or any of those, I'm not going to do much to the Bacchus here. Let's keep drunk, just to get that stun on. And now to use our ultimate. As you can see, it makes the enemy move because they're intoxicated. It's a pain to aim with that. So you definitely want to avoid that if you're the enemy team, but when you're Bacchus yourself, you want to be able to hop in, burp, and then pop that ultimate to get the full max value of his kit. As you can see here, I'm watching my passive to make sure I'm still drunk, so that every extra little bit of help I can get, all the extra effects, make sure that we're still applying to our enemies. Okay, so a couple more things. Bacchus, obviously, let's see how far his belly flop can go. Yep, we can make that jump to lane, so it's quite a distance, which is good. He's a great god at chasing down as well. When you're Bacchus, you want to make sure you're just as annoying as possible. It's not important that you get all the kills for your team, but it is important to CC out and cover for your teammates. So let's say my teammate was on the other side of this wall, I would hop over, hopefully hit him with the belly flop, and if not, start burping to get him away. Keep my drunkenness up, make sure I'm getting heals. Obviously I'm not taking any damage here, but no, let's go take some damage and see if we can get the heal out of this. Go. Gonna drink that and get that little heal back. Great. Lastly, I'll just show his full combo. So we were gonna fully engage on somebody. Let me just put old Ymir back to full health there. Let's pretend that this is a full team stacked up together. We're gonna jump in, boom, we're gonna barp, and then pop our ultimate, which is quite a amount of damage, 1200 damage. And again, this is on a tanky Ymir with items on him, so Yeah, we do hit hard. We are definitely that dive style support, and we want to be in the fight, CCing the enemy, peeling off for our team where needed, and just being an overall nuisance to the enemy team. Well, that's my quick guide for Bacchus. Hope you guys all enjoy, and again, happy smiting.